Well, it's Friday, and that means this morning, once again, we had a headline that was intended to calm the oil markets and bring oil prices down. That seems to happen every Friday now. So Iran came out and said the Strait of Hormuz is open, the most critical global choke point for oil, once again, in the world. And then reality hit. Why are only a handful of vessels making it through when normally you would see 130 a day? Why are dozens and dozens of ships starting to go through the strait and then turning around only to return back to the Persian Gulf? And the answer is very simple. It may be open politically, but it's not open operationally. And then there's other things, once again, that are happening that are putting this ceasefire and the end of this in jeopardy. Iran says ships can pass, but only with approval from the Revolutionary Guard through designated lanes under their control. And at the same time, the U.S. is still enforcing a naval blockade. And Iran is saying the strait is not open as long as a blockade is in place. So what does open even mean at this point? It means every tanker captain in the world is being asked to gamble, a billion-dollar vessel with a full crew and potentially their life on a situation where the rules aren't clear, the military, situation is not at all stable, and one miscalculation could mean mines, missiles, seizure. They're doing the only rational thing they can, and that's turning around, because markets don't run on announcements. They run on trust. And right now there is none. Because you layer in this second message, this second problem, which is messaging. Donald Trump comes out, declares victory, saying Iran has agreed to all these long-term concessions, have agreed to give up all of their enriched material, and that the strait is going to stay open forever. And then Iran comes out and says that's all a lie. We haven't agreed to any of that. That's not a thing. Our enriched material here in Iran is as precious to us as our own soil, and it is not going anywhere under any circumstances ever, period. Period. So we can't even get through an hour of potentially the strait opening without jawboning from both sides, just ruining everything. Donald Trump needs his every 15-minute dose of positive reinforcement and gratification and look at me, I'm the best. And Iran needs whatever they need. And markets can smell that instantly when it happens. And that's why oil dropped at first and then started climbing back up. Because traders realize that this isn't any kind of resolution. It's a pause built on the people who are in charge of negotiating this, and no one trusts any of these people. This is what a breakdown in negotiations looks like in real time. It's not some kind of dramatic collapse. It's not a headline that says talks failed. It's just contradiction after contradiction after contradiction. Mixed signal after mixed signal after mixed signal. It looks like a situation where, diplomats may say there's progress, yet militaries still maintain all their pressure. And the physical world, the real world that we all live in, because like Iran said, the Strait of Hormuz isn't run in cyberspace, it's run in the physical world, and it's open when we say it's open. That's another thing they said after Donald Trump made some remark. The tankers, the shipping lanes, the insurance markets, all of it refuses to believe, at this point, probably what anyone is saying. And that's the key point that people are missing. You can't reopen the global oil system with words. It's not how it works. You need security guarantees. You need clear rules. You need to be backed by your insurers. And most importantly, you need time. And none of that exists yet at all. There's still reports of mines. There's still a U.S. blockade in place. And there's a ceasefire that expires on Monday. And that's the only amount of time the Strait is supposed to be open for now. This closes again on Monday. So regardless of what anyone says on the internet, it's not being realized on the ground, or in this case, in the water. And that's why oil prices are rising again, of course. And there was also like a $750 or $800 million oil short moments before the announcement. Really looks like another pump and dump scheme by somebody. But the fact of the matter is, this isn't over. This is still a standoff. That's what this is. It is a very fragile, high-stakes game of chicken where Iran is trying to show control without giving up leverage. The U.S. is trying to apply pressure without triggering more escalation, which is almost impossible to do when Donald Trump is your spokesman. And then the rest of us are all stuck in the middle, waiting for some common sense, logic, clarity, anything that makes any sense to happen. So what's going to happen next? Either this situation will stabilize and ships will slowly begin to return to the market, or we will once again see an incident, a miscommunication, something happens to a tanker, and the entire illusion of the Strait being open once again collapses overnight. Because right now, the Strait of Hormuz is not open. It's not open. It's conditional. It's controlled. It's contained. It's not trusted. And until that trust comes back, and until the parties on each side can quit jawboning and trying to claim victory and making claims that simply aren't true, this is what I don't understand about. You're supposed to be in a negotiation process. Why are you out making public claims that are just fantastical lies to make yourself look better? The one way you make yourself look better is to actually solve this problem. Solve the problem and then run your mouth. But we're dealing with Donald Trump, who cannot stop running his mouth no matter what. Just the thought of the attention not being on him for 5 seconds of his life literally takes his breath away. He can't handle it. And until some normalcy delivers itself into this negotiation process, we're not going to get anywhere. This is a joke. This is a cluster. That's what this is. This is what you would expect out of this administration negotiating a ceasefire. This is exactly what you would expect. Too much incompetence and too much pride. Too much jawboning. If you haven't had an opportunity, this weekend would be a great time to check out the new #1 podcast on energy and, war and military, geopolitics, all of that. The American Power Podcast on Apple, Spotify. Me, Nat Towson, Chad Scott. Just dropped a great episode. Please go check that out. I'll leave a link in the description. Otherwise, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Really appreciate my followers and subscribers so much. Hope you guys have a great week. Thanks.